Yesterday, Steve Kerr said, yeah, he's interested in that Knicks now open coaching position. He also said he expects to hear from Phil Jackson in the near future. Our buddy Bill Simmons, though, said yesterday that Kerr should wait for a better job to open, such as maybe the Rockets, the Thunder, even the Warriors. Max, you're a New Yorker. How great is this Knicks job?
Look, first let me comment on Bill Simmons.
Okay.
Okay. Bill Simmons happens to be right. It's not perfect because of Jim Dolan. Jim Dolan is the worst owner in sports. He's on a very short list at the very least. Who the hell would want to play for this guy or coach for this guy? Phil Jackson changes things, but Bill Simmons' basic point, the gist of it is right. But Simmons is from Boston.
That is true.
He now lives in L.A. Understand, there is always an agenda against New York from
Fair.
all people who live in Boston and L.A. That's the way it goes. I'll give you an example of how I know this, okay, being from New York. My favorite thing about the Giants beating the Patriots in those two Super Bowls is I just hope that decades pass and the Patriots never win another Super Bowl, and there's a little boy who saw those two games and whose spirit is crushed, and he grows up in Boston, lives a full life, winds up dying of old age one day,
At least you gave him that.
having never seen the Patriots win because the Giants beat him twice, and that tortures him for the rest of the... That's how people from New York view Boston. That's how people from Boston view New York. So you have to take what Simmons says with a grain of salt, even though he has a point in this case.
Okay, so the Knicks job is not a great job.
It's not a perfect job.
But you don't think that because Phil Jackson's there that for Steve, we're talking about Steve Kerr here, not just anybody,
Right.
You don't think that makes it a much more appealing gig?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And here's the bottom line. Even though you should have reservations, Simmons is right about that as it regards Steve Kerr, it's an irresistible job for a guy like Steve Kerr because they haven't won in 41 years in New York. Basketball is actually the biggest sport in New York City. People just don't know it because the Knicks always stink and the Yankees are always great. But they love basketball in New York. And Phil Jackson there, if he has a free hand to do what he wants, Steve Kerr comes in, runs the triangle, they're going to start to attract real star players to that team. It's an irresistible job.
I agree. And I think personality-wise, Steve Kerr, he can make fun of himself. He can answer questions without getting too mysterious. I feel like it would be a good fit. New York's tough. How great is this Knicks job? 70%. If Whoopi Goldberg can do it, anybody can do it. Come on, Steve Kerr.